Hey, what's up guys? This is Cole with CJC Off-Road, and today I'm super excited because I am showing you off one of my newest builds here. This is my personal 2000 Ram 2500. I just picked this truck up recently. Check it out. As a Cummins enthusiast myself, I am actually very excited to find this particular truck. So I actually searched high and low over the past year, had a very specific criteria in mind. I was looking for a really clean, garage-kept 24-valve truck. Happened to find this one actually out in Lake Havasu, Arizona. This truck is a one-owner, garage since new, 5-speed manual, 2000 Ram 2500. Obviously, in stock form, the suspension, ride quality, and handling left a lot to be desired. And so, being that we specialize in these products, we want to showcase basically one of the most popular setups for these second-gen trucks. So we actually opted for Carli's second-gen commuter system. This system includes front coil springs, multi-rate springs, and then front and rear Fox 2.0 shocks that are custom tuned to match. By the way, so we get a lot of people that buy shocks off like eBay, places like that, and they're like, oh, these are the same shocks as what comes in the commuter kit. Can I just buy the springs? Things like that. Great way to tell if your shocks are custom tuned. If you actually take a Fox shock, like one of these commuters, and look underneath the shock body where the shaft goes in under the black cap, you'll notice a part number. 980, 985 part numbers are not custom tuned. Those are regular Fox off-the-shelf shocks. Those are the shocks that a lot of people bring to the table, buy them off eBay, things like that, or Amazon. Carli shocks are a 986 part number at the beginning. Basically any Fox shocks that start with the 986 first three numbers on the part number, those are custom tuned shocks, and those are actually private label shocks sold for the manufacturer of those shocks. So what happens here, Carli puts the time in, basically custom tunes these shocks, sends the specs for the shocks to Fox, and then Fox produces these specifically for Carli with these 986 part numbers to Carli specifications with the shims the way they're designed by Carli. And that is how you get custom tuned shocks that are basically produced by Fox. It's a really cool thing unique to these Carli systems, and it's why we really like running these systems on our own trucks. Up front, there are basically two ways we equip these second gens when we build them. For something relatively simple, a lot of guys will opt for Carli's sway bar end links. They work really well to replace worn out old end links. They're stainless, they're very corrosion resistant, and they work really well. For this specific build, I opted for something a little different. It's running a Thuren sway bar. Thuren offers a sway bar for these later second-gen trucks that works really well. It's actually a lighter spring rate than stock. So it goes to basically further improve ride quality. The stock sway bar rate on these trucks was really designed by Ram for guys with sliding campers and for basically hauling things with very top-heavy loads. For my usage, and actually I'm assuming for a lot of other people's usage that are daily driving these trucks, they don't necessarily need that heavy spring rate. So the Thuren sway bar is a great option to basically add an additional ride quality improvement to your build. Regarding the shocks on this, the Fox 2.0 shocks that Carli offers for this truck in this commuter package are specifically custom tuned just for second gens. Not only is this really unique for the second gen market in general, it's actually the cheapest Fox custom tuned shock in this price range. So Carli actually took basically took some Fox 2.0 shocks, set up the correct lengths, and actually took the time to custom build a valving profile specifically for the weight of these trucks. Most aftermarket shocks you'll see for second-gen applications are actually designed for third-gen applications, and companies are just selling them to bolt them onto second-gens. As a result, you don't necessarily get the ride quality improvement that Carli systems have to offer for these trucks, and that's why we really like this particular system. Again, great value for the money spent. A lot of custom tuning that goes into it, and you're not only getting the custom shock tuning, but you're getting the custom multi-rate coil springs to go along with them. The combination of the two is a very nice option for these builds. And to also fit the 37s, I opted for Carli's control arms. Being a 2000, this truck actually got the 14, 16 millimeter versions. In the rear, we went ahead and upgraded the rear springs to Carli's progressive Attapacks. These tend to pair really well with how Carli's Commuter shocks are tuned. You'll notice in the B-roll footage that we have on this video, this truck actually shows Carli's full progressive leaf springs. Reasoning for this is we were actually already in the process of putting together the second stage of this build, which we'll be highlighting in an upcoming video. Interesting note, it actually rode really nicely with the Commuter shocks and the full progressive leaf springs. Believe it or not, just this single modification would completely transform how these trucks drive. For this particular build, I also opted for Synergy's 00-02 steering setup, along with a Carli low mount steering stabilizer. And for wheel and tire wise, I want to do something really unique with this particular build, so I opted for Robbie Gordon wheels. These were actually produced back in the day. So it took a little bit of tracking down to find these, and I paired them with 37 by 12.5 by 17 Nitto ridge grapplers. As you'll see, most 37s with these builds don't fit very easily, so we went to our friends at Autobahn Collision Center in Torrance. Tony and co actually sectioned the front fenders, repainted them, made it look completely stock. The entire fender liners intact while this thing clears, so super cool combination there. And again, let's take this thing for a drive and see what you guys think. Second gens, we understand that, and from talking to a lot of you guys who own these trucks, they are usually used for a very specific purpose, and that is towing very heavily. Cool thing with these Attapacks that Carli offers is they are designed to retain as much of the factory reweight capacity as possible while still being functional for towing. And plus, you actually have the option to add either airbags or timbrins if you go tow with it. If you have specific questions regarding your use case, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be more happy to help you out. The drivability, ride quality, handling, all that was night and day from stock. Not only did we significantly improve how the truck rode and handled with the Carli Commuter system, but the Synergy steering actually went a long way toward actually tightening up how the truck steers. So this is actually, I'd say, a complete transformation of how this truck drives from how it was. I'd actually go as far as saying that this is basically bringing a truck from 2000 into the 21st century. The difference is that dramatic. Another really cool thing to note is that Carli Commuter base system by itself is actually a very reasonable price point compared to most of the higher end suspension upgrades that are available for these trucks. So it's a great way to basically transform how your truck drives without necessarily breaking the bank, and that's why we wanted to highlight this system in this video, because this is actually the most popular system that we offer for these trucks. Again, we include some additional upgrades, the control arms, the Attapacks, and those are all great options that Carli offers, but they are by no means required if you're running smaller tires. So keep in mind there are a lot of different ways you can configure these systems without necessarily doing every option that Carli has to offer. And again, we have people standing by at all times to basically offer advice and recommendations how to set these things up. We'd be more than happy to help you basically dial in your particular build for your usage. And again, this is an ongoing build, so there's a lot more to come with this. So keep an eye out on this channel because I have a lot more in mind for this truck. And again, if you have any questions regarding wheels, tires, things like that, we're more than happy to help. Thank you for the support here on this channel, and thanks for watching.